This talk probably won't be the best, but I'm going to summarize basically what I can go on and on about life. Life always has its up and downs, whether you're seeking academic success, like trying to get a perfect SAT score, or whether it is a mundane everyday situation, like trying to pick up that hot girl at a party. In my short 18 years of life, I've learned to keep my head up, knowing that as long as I believe in myself, there's hope for my future. Additionally, someone very close once told me, if you aren't there for yourself, then how will you succeed? This affected me deeply and made me begin to think about the real meaning of life. Among many questions that swirl in my mind, whenever I think about life, one significant question popped up. Why is it so hard to be right, but so easy to be wrong? Recalling, recalling an episode from my childhood, I remember a sunny afternoon while I was walking home from school when a friend, who surprisingly remains a friend of mine to this day, in response to a spate of trash talk he hurled toward me and my group of friends, instead of doing the right thing and ignoring these comments, I obviously did the wrong thing and destroyed my friend's backpack. Me and my friends destroyed it by kicking it repeatedly and throwing it down a hill. Yeah. And we threw it down a hill where he couldn't even reach it, just to make it worse. My friends and I obviously got in trouble. Getting sent to the principal's office, was kind of scary. Getting called out of class was kind of funny because everyone knew that we were the ones that caused the drama between this friend of mine. Looking further back in time, I recall another time from when I was 5, my sister was about 2 years old. I punched her right in the face, causing her nosebleed. It was really bad to the point where it took my mom about 2 hours to stop the bleeding, and all this happened because she took my ball. It goes without saying that I got the whooping of my life. In both of these episodes, the joy and immediate catharsis of seeking retribution was easier than doing what was right. But the way you learn what's right and wrong is by the people around you. If I were to hang out with people that do bad decisions on a daily basis, then I would most likely become one of them. Not always, but most likely. But the people you should be taking into consideration that truly influence you are the people that love you. Whether a friend you've known since you were a kid, or maybe that special someone who truly loves you, that was from my ex. um, Whether a friend you've known, sorry. But most importantly, your family. Those people will be there for you even if you are at the bottom. If you were to be breaking down into shredding into tears, not knowing what to do, I know that my family would do everything possible to get me out of that situation. I know how it feels to close up and just leave everything to yourself. I was once in the dorms during a school week, and I lost someone special in my life. And I did exactly what I said, broke down and shredded into tears. I remember just not knowing who to go to, thinking that nobody would help me. But I now know that my family and friends would have been there if I were to open up. Moving forward, family is the people that will be there for you no matter the situation. My cousin once told me a certain quote. Not sure where it was from, but here it goes. Family is a very complex subject. It isn't blood ties alone that defines one's family. It is up to you to decide that person to decide who she/he values as family. Family is who you choose, not the ones you assume. Your family might not always be the ones to help you, but you're never alone. There are always people around you that will be there, like Mr. Rywood. He might tell me to shave here and there and possibly give me detention, but as he says, if you did the right thing, we can always have conversations like these, good and casual conversations. Every now and then, it's always good to hear what you don't want to hear. Like for me, somebody can call me bad or chubby, but it's okay. You either find a way to solve it or get used to it, which, I obviously got used to it, It's pretty cool. Hearing what you don't want to hear sometimes makes you realize that what you're doing is wrong. Going back on how teachers tell me to shave, They tell me because they know we're all benefiting from it. And we have it gives them a good time to talk to me and, not have to worry about punishing me. But sometimes doing the right thing can be hard because sometimes you don't know what's right and it can lead you into trouble. But it's not always bad to get into trouble because it shows us what is right and wrong. That's how we learn. Like when I punched my sister in the face, I was taught to never hit a girl again unless I'm about to be killed by a girl. In life, sometimes we might not always get what we want, which is the reason we have to keep moving forward because we don't know what to expect. I can die the next day and not know what's coming. That's why I see the people I care about. I just have to say that I love them because I don't know the last time I'll say it. I would just live the moment. I believe everything happens for a reason. Somewhat like a butterfly effect. Like if I didn't jump on top of my sister just to destroy her poor like back, then maybe I would have never got here or wrote this. I've learned that life is what you want it to be, whether it is hard to be right or easy to be wrong. It's like what you want it to be. Because as Nikki Sixx said, if you think you were born in the wrong time, what do? You make it yours. We all tend to look back at our past, but instead we should be looking at what's now, present. We tend to reflect on our past mistakes, which often clouds the decision one makes in the present. We need to remember that you're not always going to know what's right, and that's okay. The way we learn to distinguish what is right and wrong is simply by learning from others' experiences and mistakes you've made. For instance, I can always talk to my older cousin, which has somewhat more experience than I do. The answer to the question of what's right and wrong is simply to learn from both your mistakes and the mistakes of those around you as well. Sometimes it can be difficult to take into account of what your parents say, but maybe you might think that they're completely wrong. But if you actually listen to what they say instead of always disregarding their advice, take it into consideration and you might learn something or maybe realize something that was missing. Overall, I know I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for not only my family and friends, but as well as the people I've met along the road. And they might have not had such a big impact, but you always learn something new every day. Whether it be from getting up from bed or just simply getting out of the car. My message to TMI is no matter what, people are always there. They're there for a reason. Nothing happens just because it happens. And don't always close up because it's harder for the people around you to support you. Always be open to those who care and love you because they might not always know the right answer, but two heads are better than one, right? Don't forget that the past never judges who you are today. The past is the past. It's what now that matters. I'm going to end by saying this. Something I'm not going to lie, I never thought I would come to say, but it's grown on me over the years. So, thank you, TMI.